If you came to groove, there's no reason to prove.
Sup squad, today is going to be a video on how to customize your Xbox One controller. Now here is what I've done to mine. It started off as just a normal black controller and I've spray painted it blue. I'm going to show you how to customize your controller yourself, which means you can do anything you want. You can make it any color you want. You could spray different parts, different colors. You could do it all one color. You could do, you know, yellow on the front, orange on the back, whatever you want. You know, the possibilities are endless. So you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need an Xbox One controller, obviously. You're going to need a Torx T8 screwdriver. That's right. They're called Torx T8, but you could also just Google Xbox One screwdriver and it will come up. You're going to need a place to spray paint. That can either be on your lawn outside, you know, on some grass, or in a garage, or if you are going to spray in an indoor space, you're going to need plastic sheeting to make sure that you don't get spray paint everywhere, okay? Or, you know, plastic bags, something like that. And you're also going to need something to pry open the Xbox One controller with. I used a flathead screwdriver, but you could also use like a knife, like a standard kitchen knife or something. You just gotta be careful. So yeah, those are the things you need. Oh, you also need spray paint. You need spray paint, obviously. But other than that, you're all set. So, you know, you only need a couple of things and then you're ready to go. Now, not only can you just spray paint your controller, you can also buy new buttons, a new D-pad, new thumbsticks, you know, different colored triggers and stuff like that. You can do all kinds of things. And I just saw the thing at E3 where they were, was it E3 that they showed it off? The controller labs or whatever they're called, where you like pay a ridiculous amount of money to customize your own controller. It's like, why do that when you've already got a controller that you can customize yourself, huh? Another thing you're going to need before you start is time, okay? You need to let the paint dry, so you may not be able to play Xbox for a whole day. Yeah, that's right. I know, it's a long time to not be playing Xbox. So yeah, first all you need to do is to open up the controller. So, you know, first take off any other accessories, take off the battery pack, that's important, and then I will show you the first step, and that is to pry off the palm grips, is what I call them, the palm grips, because they're the plastic bits that you hold with your palm. Now to do that, this is where the flathead screwdriver or something flat like a kitchen knife comes in, okay? You have to be very careful because you can damage the plastic if you're not careful. You just jam something flat in the groove, right there, right? And you should start hearing clicking noises. The clicking noises sound quite bad. It sounds like you're breaking the controller, but you're probably not, okay? Those clicking noises are normal. Still be careful, okay? You know, don't be too rough with it because you can break the little things inside. But yeah, just slowly try to pry this part open. Once you've got a gap, use the trigger and hold the trigger down and then create a gap with your finger and try and push it off that way. And yeah, just go round the edge and try and get a gap around the whole edge, and eventually it'll just pop off. But yeah, like I said, if you hear clicking noises and you are being gentle, don't be alarmed, alright? Those clicking noises are normal. It happens to me as well. So yeah, don't be too afraid. Take both of the palm grips off, and then once you've taken those off, you should have the screws exposed. You have one screw where the battery goes, and then you have 4 screws where the palms are, so you have 2 on each side. You take your you take the Torx T8 screwdriver and you unscrew the screws. When you unscrew the screws, make sure you're not too rough with them. You know, no one likes a rough screwing, do they? But seriously, just be gentle when you're unscrewing them, because if you damage the screws too much, then it's going to get to the point where you wear them out and you're not even going to be able to screw them out or in ever again. So don't do that. Be very gentle, very delicate, apply a lot of pressure and rotate slowly, and then bring the screws out. Once you have the screws out, you can put the controller the right way up, take the front plate off, that just comes off really easily, and the back plate comes off as well. It's a little bit harder, but still, you know, be brave. To get the back bit off, you just have to realize that the metal conductors for the battery are actually clipped into the plastic bit, so just be aware of that when you're sliding it out, and just wriggle it around and eventually it will come out. Use the triggers as well, hold the triggers down, that sometimes helps when you're taking it off. So yeah, also on the back piece, when you take the plastic off, there's a bit of metal on it. Now I took this metal piece off. It's very simple, you just slide it off of the plastic, And that is because I didn't want it to be covered in paint in case it affected the batteries and how the batteries connected up. So you don't want to paint that bit, okay? So make sure you take that off, and if you can't take it off, just put some tape over it or something. You don't want to get paint on that. So yeah, now you should have the plastic parts and the actual Xbox One like circuit. That should be separate, okay? Now I just got to stress this point, don't be afraid, okay? I was quite afraid that I was breaking my controller the first time I did this, but honestly, it all fits together very well again. They're very hard things to break, so you know, as long as you're not like throwing it about the place, it's going to be fine, alright guys? Now, when it comes to batteries, you can spray your batteries if you want, but I use rechargeable batteries, so you see it has a little bit where you plug it in, and I do not want to get paint in that, so I didn't spray it. But if you do just have the standard plastic battery like cap kind of thing, you can spray that all you want, but I would just not advise spraying rechargeable batteries. So yeah, just take your plastic pieces, and now we're going to head on over to the place where you're going to spray the controller. For me, I sprayed it in my garage, and I put some plastic sheeting down on the floor so I wasn't spray painting the floor as well. But if you're spraying it in your house, you want to make sure you've got plastic bags everywhere, really. You shouldn't be spraying it in your house at all, really, but if you are, be very, very careful. But yeah, if you've got a garage or an outdoor space, if it's not too windy and it's not raining, then, you know, go outside on the grass or something. You can spray this in any order you want. Now, you've got to think about the design. Now, I actually wanted the back to be blue as well, but it turns out I couldn't do that because I sprayed the wrong piece. And that back bit that I sprayed will only fit on this controller because of the 3.5mm jack thing in the controller. You see that? So yeah, that was really dumb of me. But yeah, do you want to leave the back black? Do you want to spray the front and back different colors? Do you want, you know, do you want each piece a different color? You can do anything you want. So when you've got your spray paint, make sure you shake it thoroughly for about 5 minutes, okay? Because if you don't spray it, it's going to come out all bumpy. I mean, if you don't shake it, it's going to come out all bumpy. And then yeah, just lay whichever plastic piece you want to spray first down. I put it on a tin can so it was elevated and I could get round the bottom of it, kind of thing. Not the bottom, but you know, get good angles on it. And yeah, just start spraying. Now don't spray too much of a heavy coat because that will lead to the paint dripping. And also make sure the coat is kind of even as well. I did 2 coats, so you can do 2 coats as well, or you could do more, but I'd advise at least 2 coats, okay? So spray each piece with 1 coat, spray evenly, just make sure there's no black bits left over, and then put it to one side, and then once you've done your first coat, leave it for at least 2 hours, okay? And then you can come back to it and spray your second coat. But yeah, when you spray, all you have to be aware of is that you shake the can properly. You got to be aware of wind as well. And yeah, just make sure it's a nice even coat. And also, yeah, get different angles of it. So don't just spray from one position. You know, move about the plastic piece and spray from different angles, and that way you'll get the best result. Because otherwise you might miss like the little corners, like this little bit here. You know, you got to get down and spray it from like, you know, lower. You get a variety of angles when you spray that shit up. So yeah, like I said, leave it for 2 hours, come back, do the same again, spray each piece individually, leave it again, and then I'd say at least leave it for 3 or 4 hours before assembling it again. The thing about spray paint is they recommend that you leave spray paint for a whole 24 hours before it's dried completely. So if you only leave it 3 hours like I did, you've got to be careful because the paint, although it is dry, it's still quite soft, and if you like, you know, dig your nail into it or something like that, it may damage the paint, so just be careful with that. But yeah, once you've got your snazzy sprayed up controller, all you need to do is put it back together again. It's quite easy. Put the metal bit back on the plastic bit that you took off before you started spraying, I hope. And then yeah, just place the circuit board onto the back piece. It's probably the trickiest part to put back together actually. You got to make sure the metal connectors attached to the circuit board slide into the back piece properly. And also when putting on the back piece, hold down the controllers, okay? I mean the triggers, hold down the triggers and it'll slide in a lot better. So just be very patient with that. It may take a while, but getting the back piece on is the hardest. The rest of it is super duper easy. Once you've got the back piece on, just put the front piece back on, then you should have a whole controller without the palm grips. Screw the screws back in. Don't do them too tight, okay? Don't force them in, just screw them in until you feel a bit of resistance, and then that should be enough. As long as the controller doesn't wiggle about, it's fine. And then, once you put all the screws in, just put the palm grips back on. And there we go, you have a beautiful sprayed controller that is now unique, and your friends are going to be like, whoa, like, dude, how much did you pay for that? Did you get ripped off? You'd be like, nah fam,
I sprayed it myself.
It's just really cool. And if you like DIY projects like me, you're gonna love doing this because it's a real sense of accomplishment. If you buy a custom controller, you just bought it, you know, but if you've done it yourself, it means a lot more to you, I think. Now, if you do end up following this tutorial and you do it yourself, send me a picture on Twitter at the Frog Squad, and if you do send me a picture, I'll give you a shout out on one of my videos, okay? Because I want to see you guys spraying your own controllers, you know, it's going to be awesome. But yeah, like I said, it's not just spraying. Look on eBay or Amazon or something. You can buy really cheap parts for the Xbox One controller. You can buy, you know, custom buttons, a custom D-pad, custom thumbsticks, you know, you can pretty much buy any button. And if you're willing to go that extra step further, you can change those as well. But in this tutorial, I just wanted to show you how to spray paint. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like the video, subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on if you love me. And if you do stick around, I'll see you in the next video.